The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. No proper English was used. The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Okay, this is going to be one of those videos that I messed up and I have to restart. Talked for 1 hour and 25 minutes without my mic on. So I had a person help me out here. So the thing here is I'm back up, I'm streaming again, but I've got to go through some of this editing and because I'm recording for history. I had to use the word evilness in Judah, and this the way I make Judah as the nation Judah, and it's evil at this time. If they were all capitals, they'd be in capital letters way up here, and that means that they were good at that time. Is written down, and I found a 3-verse format down here, so I came back up here and said, okay, I need a 3-verse here. It seems like that's a good way to start this text. A diamond or an iron stylus with a diamond point. That is talking about how the Babylonians wrote on clay, and they'd engrave it, and then they'd harden it, and then you couldn't change a word. Hebrews did not do that way. So that has to be out. There were no such thing as horns on the altar. and this text just become untruthful. When I started correcting this here, it had Asherim, and what that is this one of the three names for the female goddess. That they call it the Phoenician goddess, but it's actually Ra, the sun god, and it is the moon goddess. And this is how you'll see the image of the moon goddess, Ra, the sun god, and the moon goddess daughter. I believe this is Athena. And so I use only one name for her, not all three. Actually, the three are, you can meditate and have a sex with her. And when I say that, you're saying, what do you mean? I says, okay, let's go to Malachi 2:11, where Judah, the nation, has married the daughter of a foreign god, which makes this the word goddess. I'm doing Jeremiah, and Jeremiah will call her the Queen of Heaven. And he's arguing with them how much the kings, their forefathers, it's not princes, it's the priests that were there, and how they were doing all these things for the goddess. Now, if you ever seen a picture of the Vatican wall and how that's got this vine growing all over, that's why they also have an Egyptian obelisk in the courtyard. Well, the thing here is I have to correct it. It's not the green trees, but it's all green vines on the highest hills. That's to get to the closest to heaven as they could. That's why it's the highest heaven. And in the countryside. Now what you're seeing is a 4-verse here, but I've got 3-verse here, 3-verse here. And the only reason how I got a 3-verse here is because I used this verse to come up here. When I was editing it, I realized that this one was a comma and a period. Those hooked together really good. Where you can see here, this is a statement, and then a comma and a period, and this sentence reinforces the statement. So what I did was I went through and edited these words, not booty, but plunder. Borders were lands, the tribes, and it was their high places all over the place. And I honor and respect our Creator by using all capital letters, and this is in purple. And these are words that I have to add to complete the sentences. These are words that I'm changing. And why is, that wasn't supposed to be that. That was supposed to be this. That was there. I was hitting the wrong key. So this would be our Creator speaking. Now, to understand what kindled a fire means, so when you see that in the text, okay, you're back. Thanks. In my description of YouTube videos, there is one that says proof of afterlife. And that is the way our Creator made me see him 7 times. I wrote it to say that if our Creator redeems you, lets you see, he makes you see him, and then he redeems you from the abyss and brings you back to earth. What it is it's simple enough for any 13-year-old male to do. I say 3 times, but you do it once and you're convinced that you have visited what's known as the abyss. It's another dimension of time and space. The beings that you're going to meet out there, these are the ones that became the gods that don't believe in our Creator. They're all the bad guys down there, so watch what you do. There is warnings not to challenge them. But if you feel that you are a very righteous male unto our Creator, then I tell you the steps of how to start battling them. Because what they're going to do is try to freeze you out there and kill you, keep your soul there and not return to the earth. Now, it has been repeated by mankind. So mankind means those that meditate to have sex with a so-called female goddess. I argued with them and challenged them to their highest knowledge of all their knowledge of the female goddess. And our Creator gave me all the wisdom to defeat all of them. And then I told them, well, you didn't ask me if this path that our Creator has given me is repeatable. And what they did was they found two very righteous men that were soft-spoken, trying to be as good as they can. And they've been deceived. But what happens is when you're out there and the evil one is trying to kill you or hold your soul there so you don't return here, our Creator shows himself as a white light, and your head will jerk right straight up, and it is almost like it's off hinge. Your neck, I mean, it's like your face is straight and your neck is just bent like this. But you'll start going up to our Creator and you're seeing his light. And I described in detail what you can do to say that this is the safest way, but still your risk. Because if our Creator doesn't redeem you, then you are not going to be redeemed. Our Creator is going to let you die. And then you won't be waking up and saying, our Creator made me see him. And he shows himself as a white light, a circle of white light. Now, in his meeting room above the mercy seat, he would show himself as a white light. And I have cleaned up Psalms, and I'm thinking it's Psalms 48, where the priest is writing this, and he says that he bows with reverence to the presence of his light. So you have that as a light, him showing himself as light. The angels were in white. The angels were shining in their glory. Jesus transfigured white. So now you know what angels look like in their glory. They're white. They do have wings, very much like what the angels you see that have like, we have white herrings down here that when they bring out their wings, that they have like a pointed and then comes down. But was it John says from his light came Jesus as our light? So, but that's what I mean by, I didn't say I have seen him. He made me see him. If I say it any other way, I'm demean. Like I can't tell our Creator what to do. Our Creator, if he's going to reveal himself, it's because he wants to reveal himself to you. So, other than that, but thanks for stopping back by here. I'm trying to give a quick review real quick to catch up. So let's see, where was I hit here? Oh, kindled a fire. A kindle of fire means this is where you put like fast burning things like grass, leaves, small twigs, and then you build with a larger sticks, and then you can put logs on top of them. And so when the fire is lit, it consumes everything and catches everything on fire quickly. So when you read the words kindle a fire, it means that it's going to happen, and it's going to happen rapidly. Okay. Here I had to change the word order to read in English instead of Old Hebrew. So I've got YV prophesied. Cursed is man, trusting in mankind, and makes them their strength with their hearts have turned away from him. Now this other text, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I appreciate the question, because I'm hoping that you're convinced enough that I'm not a liar, that I am telling the truth, and you'll help bring people forward to understand that this is Jesus's prophecy. When I get done, well, the text that's on my website is a message from our Creator. And when you read that, you'll find that there's like 7 days of Jesus in Jerusalem. I mean, the story becomes so accurate that it's the text just, because of the formats that he gave me, and the text within them would tell me where to place all these little tiny pieces. I had like 2,900 little pieces that ended up going into 2 different formats, a 3-verse and a 4-verse. Okay, now as long as he is showing you himself as a bright light, I could say brilliant purity, then yes, he has. He can also reveal himself just by giving you the confidence of you knowing he exists, and I understand that as well. But you're still, because that's the difference between someone who has a belief and someone who, like myself, says, I had no belief. I know he exists. So, yeah, I've talked to people before in my life that, yes, my grandmother, my grandmother knew the moment she was going to die. And it was like we knew she talked to our Creator. So when you have that kind of evidence, I mean, she literally called the whole family up to meet up at the cabin. Our family had a cabin on a lake, and we were all supposed to meet up there. I was only probably 15 at the time. And then we all know what time we're supposed to go, but she made sure we left like 4 hours early, and everybody's been out of shape. The only one left was my uncle, and then he said that she told him a story. She asked for a shot of whiskey, and she told him, after I drink this, I'm going to die, and don't be afraid of death. She drank it and she died. She knew the moment she was going to die. So that had a shaking through our family as to what they were to be given as knowing he exists. Myself, our Creator made me see him the first time when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And then again later. Now, when I was at work, I worked in Buick Engineering, which has like 2,000 people that can just walk around this great big massive, maybe 5,000 square building, 3 different floors. And a guy I worked with, he had married a Muslim woman. And he said that he went to the hospital where her dad was dying. And he said that this is strange, but we've been to all the mosques and they don't know the answer. But I know, he looked right at me, he says, I know you know all these weird things. But what he did was he wanted to make sure his head was facing north. And once I confirmed that, yes, his head was facing north direction, he was comfortable and he closed his eyes and died. And we don't know why he wanted his head facing north. And they went to all the mosques. This was in Detroit, Michigan. And you've probably heard that that's probably the biggest Muslim congregation of Muslims in the country. And what I told him, I says, well, he believes in our Creator and not so much the Muslim faith, Islamic faith. He believes our Creator exists. And I said, see, in Psalms 48, verse 2 in the NSAB tells us that Mount Zion is in the far north. Well, this means that the star's motion makes a mountain, and the North Star is the peak of the mountain, Mount Zion in the far north. That's known as the second heaven. Okay, and then above there is where heaven exists, and where the birds fly are the third heaven. And I told him that what he wanted to do when he died was not look face to face to our Creator, that when he was rising up, he'd be looking away from our Creator. I said he wanted to honor and respect our Creator because he knows our Creator has his back on everything. And so that type of understanding, even from another person, having that knowledge that our Creator exists, he had to know our Creator. You can't tell people, but you can give them hints, and then knowing the moment they die, that is remarkable. Okay, there's no other explanation. So, but you'll enjoy a lot of those videos because, like I said, I try to go in depth. My mother says I talk too much, but I got to explain everything. So just like I said, when I pass away, this is going to be left, and this is what's going to be around to help other people hopefully take their belief to a complete trust. This text, when I was reading this sounds like Jeremiah is talking to other people. And I've got other pieces in Jeremiah. Where is it? Right here. That a lot of this text that I've got already cleaned up goes from him talking sometimes and then prophesying sometimes. So I know that I've got more messages here in this text that's going to go together. I'll be sticking all these pieces together to make the true story of Jeremiah. Here again, it's where he searches our hearts and tests our mind and gives man according to his wants, not his ways, but his wants. And then all of a sudden I've got a 3-verse here out of 3 sentences that I found them. They work together, so I'll keep them. But this is really digging out of the mud because all these words that don't belong or can't be truthful, they appear themselves, and it's strange that it will be a statement, and then this and this will make a long sentence that explains this statement. It's very unique, that 3-verse format, and I haven't understood why they wrote in a 3-verse or a 4-verse yet. But then the argument with mankind is that they meditate and they have this sex with female goddess, and then they say that they can ascend out their head. Here, this is in Tibet, and actually, let me see if I can blow this up. You can see this hole in his head that they blow it, this bubble out of their head. It's hard to say what they actually do, but they do this. How come Anyways, down here, and you can see the crescent moon again here, but they release and they end up going what they call ascending into heaven. And actually, you actually can talk with these guys in the abyss. So that's their practice of becoming a god. Let's see here. When I say they sit and meditate, whoops, too big. Too big. These pictures you've probably seen, and that's what they're talking about. This is their experience on the inside of the body, and this is their female goddess. And you can, what is this, Kundalini? Yeah, right here. If you search on today, this is a web page that has this, but these are the beginning steps of having this repeatable practice of this energy or a bubble that goes around the body. And that's what I showed you was released from their head, and then they're dying. They die. It's actually the energy that keeps your soul and your body together. Before they release that energy from their head, the body dies, they live on. So they have this argument of how can a male Yah end up saying you can enter into heaven just by his word. They've had this, I mean, all Buddhist monks, that's why they're single, that's why Pope is single, the bishops are single, your nuns, your priests. A lot of them don't know the practice, but when you reach the bishop level, you all have to have that. They all have to have that practice. But that's what I would call, that's what they call as a religion. But as you know, the Bible is the only text that has a creator speaking to people. That makes it different. So that is why I say it's not a religion. It's more of a belief. Now, I know they describe it as a belief for them, but once you know the secret behind it, it's not a belief, it's a way of life. Their religion is a way of life unto the female goddess. And then here he's going to be talking again. These words just are blue that don't mean anything important. And he's going to command him to go to the entrance gate, and he's going to start talking. This is where I left off. And yes, exactly. I was reading your comment there. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that what happens to a male's maleness, it retracts inside the body once a year, or can do this. And this is on the Vatican's corner of it, the building. But you also see this in the zodiac sign. So in 2000 Super Bowl halftime, they had their female goddess rise up out of the darkness. And the song that they were singing was One World, Two People. So, but under a female's, her rosebud becomes thin like a sword. So that is what the symbol of a woman having the sex practice of meditating to have sex with the so-called goddess. But and when you see Egyptian stuff and they have this half man, half body stuff, and here's that bubble that goes around in their body, it's also the letter O in the text. O God, O Lord, O Creator, O Holy Spirit, O Israel, O men of faith. They had stuck the letter O in the text. What is it? Where is my... Oh, I got it. I got it under titles. Here in when I explain what I do for our creator's name, the O, a single letter O, has been added 1,996 times, and yet there is no J, O, or W in the Hebrew language. So any of these, this word you can't really say. It's closer to this, but if you I just put it in English this way, and if you say these two letters in Hebrew, you're almost saying this. So that's why I use these two letters for our creator. But why would they have the single letter O in Hebrew when it never existed in the Hebrew text? But okay, let me see here. I gotta blow this up a little bit so you can see what's going on. I better check Twitch again. Okay, I'm excellent there. Wow, I'm actually on YouTube too. Hey, not quite as up to date as Twitch though. YouTube seems to be, the longer you stream, the farther delay. I don't understand that. But anyways, now it's going to be a prophecy, or Jeremiah is going to be commanded by our creator. So we finally have our creator telling him what to do. So these words will all be his words. And it wasn't a public gate, it was the entrance gate. Now this entrance gate is the one that Jesus walked up when he ascended up into, get into Jerusalem. And then our creator's house was on the south side after you entered. And I use the word people here instead of Judea, kings of Judah, because he's going there and just the king's not going to walk through there. So I know that it's going to be either it's going to be the people, or it might even be to the priest. It depends on what's going to be said. And then it wouldn't be his entrance gate. It would be his house courtyard gate to speak there to the priests. So let me see how the text goes. And it's going to say come and go. So that means it's going to be people. So this would be all capital. Go. It's got to be into Jerusalem. So where people come and go. As well as in all the gates. Now that's strange because come and go. And then is he going to go to the other gates? Is what I'm looking to see. Is this text telling me that? Where people come and go. As well as all the gates into Jerusalem. Okay, so this I can't use. This I can't use. Come and go. And to all the gates. Now, is that reading rated? And that gets them there. And If I put other gates here, would be more correct. Not all is not being used. So this is a word that I got to add. So I got to say, I'm adding that word. So where people come and go, and the other gates. Where people go, where people come and go. I still like into Jerusalem. And then it's not going to be all the other gates. But this doesn't need to be here no more. So come and go. That doesn't make sense anymore. Into Jerusalem, where people come and go. Now it's already said gates here, entrance gate to Jerusalem. So go stand in the east gate. I could put this as the east gate. East gate. Where people come and go. It would have to be east into Jerusalem. From the east into Jerusalem. So if I put east here, from the east into Jerusalem, then I would have to put entrance back up here. The entrance gate. Go and stand in the entrance gate where people come and go from the east into Jerusalem. Okay, that makes more sense to me now. Okay, now this would make these two this is a paragraph and this is a paragraph, and these two connect as a paragraph. Now if I go here, I've got to find two that got to continue and not say he's going to be heralding. And herald. And herald to them, listen to words from YHVH. Okay, now that's a pretty good start. To all in Judah, this, no, let's see, let's do the word, you kings for Judah. Now this has to be showing a timeline here. And by showing a timeline, I gotta say that if he's here at this time, this is like coming up to these two kings here. So it's like in his last days that maybe Jeremiah is speaking at this time for these kings. If I use those kings, kings for Judah, to the kings, this would be, I'd have to use the word to the kings for Judah. And Judah, like I said, being it's bad, I have to make it bold and small caps. Kings for Judah. And everyone in Judah, and I just better grab this, copy this, paste this, who come through these gates. This is a double of what's being said. Usually the inhabitants means races because there's other people there. But I'm going to use who come through, and everyone in Judah statement who come through these gates, comma, period. And like I said, I don't try to actually make these statements unless I only have pieces of this. But you can see that, and herald to them, listen, period. And then you can see the text just reveals itself when it's cleaned up that there's a hidden format here. And if I have these two as together, then these two, you can see how these two connect together. Now, because this has already been said, don't need to say this. Never a Sabbath, it's a holy day. But the only thing is that isn't what this is the end of, let's put it this way, I've done this text so many times that he's going to tell them that the destruction is coming. They're coming from Babylon and your days are over, is what he's saying. So they've already on to other gods and goddesses, or goddess. So the thing here is this is only one of the commandments, and it's not really a severe commandment, but it was, yeah, I don't see this as what our Creator's warning them about. Now, see, this comes together, but this is not going to be something our Creator says here. It's a holy day. That's our Creator's holy day. But keep our holy day would be a first personate. Do any, so this Now all of a sudden becomes better than this here, this group. So let me see how if I edit this and correct this. But that doesn't make, I can't, through the gates. Let's see if I'm missing some words up here. You will not bring, and if you're coming into Jerusalem, you're going into your house. This isn't making sense here. But nor do any work, but keep our holy day holy as commanded. Keep our holy day as he commanded our forefathers. Forefathers relates to the day that he made of a nation in the Sinai. So, nor do any work, but keep our holy day as, I've got to put he commanded. I just don't see him saying I in first person at the gate. It's got to be do not, or is not needed. Do not bring anything and this is out. This I've added. Do not bring anything. But if they're in Judah anyway, that they wouldn't be, they're not supposed to be doing it at all in Judah. So why is it just being described as through the gate? I'm going to say this text is out because it has to say all of Judah. So this is not being said truthfully. But this, he could be talking at a different point because this is really, really good. Nor do any work, but keep your holy day as he commanded our forefathers. See, that didn't need hardly any, but it becomes a 3 verse for that comma, question mark, period. Yet you did not listen. You did not listen. Let's see. You have, this is, you have not listened to him. but stiffened your neck in order not to listen to him. Now that's reading better. Or take correction, that's repent, in other words, nor have you repented. But this here, those now connect together pretty good. So I don't know where they're going to go, but they do connect together. All right. But it will come about if you listen attentively to me. Now here, do not work on it, in it. No work on that day. Now that's becoming more truthful. Now what's he going to say here? Well, see, sometimes if he's talking about repenting, then he's going to say that if you don't and you start turning to me and repent, then it makes sense that I'm not seeing that. This, there are no princes. So let me see. That's not being, this is the only thing that's being said right. But keep the holy day by not doing your work on it. He's already told me you're supposed to listen to him, so that don't bring no load. That isn't it. The work describes that. Through the gates, that's not the gates. It's not just the city. But this is already said here. Right here. So this is and I don't see this. This is like trying to tie this to this. So this, he's already said to him to listen up here. Okay. I didn't forget to do this, that he told him to listen. So, riding in chariots. The kings actually rode on donkeys. They were not in a hurry those days. Got to remember, all Israel is not many miles. You can walk 20 miles in a day. So in 3 days you could walk the whole distance of Israel. But on horses, I don't think that's there. It's no, I don't see this anything. The city kings are to sit on the throne for David, through David. I don't see this as needed. There's not, that isn't tying this text that I've got or some of the text above. So this is outside the promised land. These guys are already gone. This, I don't think so. this is half of Israel is already gone. Your burnt offerings, there's no such thing as burnt offerings. A sin offering starts out as a sacrifice. You sacrifice either the turtle doves or the ram or the goat. You kill it, you remove the hide, and then you take the muscles, which represents the action of the sin. You put that on the plate after he cuts it up. Then this becomes the offering that's going to go on the altar. So this person doesn't understand the difference between sacrifices and offerings. And you don't bring sacrifices into the Thanksgiving to the house, into the courtyard. You don't even bring them into our Creator's house. The priest is to go there to ask for your atonement. It would be the father of the family who takes the responsible for the children that are living in his house would be the one to make the sacrifice. And it's of him or his wife or the older knowing children. I think there's going to be a limit. There is no text limit that says when they're supposed to be obedient, but you can't blame children for not knowing all the commandments. They're supposed to learn them, and parents are supposed to be examples. But I imagine probably by the time they're 13, they better be unto our Creator. See, this is all talking. I don't see this as true here. So what I have is I've just got pieces of stuff that I'm not sure that's even gonna go together in the text at all. But I've got them, so I'm going to work with them, and then I'm going to put them right here with this text. Right here. And then clean this text up. And probably group them here. Well, that surprises me. Usually when I have a line like this, it doesn't work right. Now this I'm just going to copy because I'm using it as the space that I put between the text. Let me go out a little bit. Yeah, this here is not making any sense. It's stuck in the middle here. This, even though it's so far away from it, it's coming from that verse. But I can't tell if these are double spaced or not. And then I'm going to have this text. Now this looks like it's going to connect together. So that's going to connect together. This isn't going to go here. And this is pretty much going to hook together 3 verse. And then, yeah, this is a 4 verse. This is not connecting. So, because sometimes if they're connecting, I will get rid of one of those and make it a 3 verse. Usually I have to use this verse to make it right. And I just don't know. This is too many pieces. This does, like those two want to work together. All those fools and shame. Although this could be here, this could be here, this is there, and then I have 2 above here. But that's too far away. Now see, this is a prophecy. This is going to be so far apart from this stuff. So this is going to be here. And this. And then this is going to hook together. Now this got me. I don't think so. But that, yeah, that's going to be. Okay, now I've got a lot of work to do, cleaning this up. But you can see that I've got to I'm going to divide these up into small groups by going like this. And then I'll make a comment to them as what they are. And then I'll say, put this like this. This one goes with this one. This one's going to go with this one. But as far as that goes, see, I don't know if this is going to go together, but I guess right off the bat, I would put this one like that. Yeah, this is not connecting right. So I'll leave it like that. That's just my shortness. My shortcuts to let me know what's going on. And then it's just like this, and what I'll do is I'll gather all the 3 verses together, all the 4 verses together, and I will show how I put these together. And but I'm going to need all of Jeremiah first, and it's 60 chapters long, and that's going to be a while yet. So, but now the holidays are over, and after I get my other computer built, I will try to be on maybe 3-4 times a day doing chapters only. And then I will do what I do. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to call it a day. And see you on the next video.